Hey ladies, isolation tactics are used to dim your light. I noticed that if you walk around like a person that doesn't need validation, you're also beautiful on top of that. When you get in a group setting or around lots of people, they will click up or purposely leave you out to make you feel like something is wrong with you. And this is psychological. So they do this because people see your light, they see how brightly it shines, they see how beautiful you are, and obviously they're intimidated. And so they hope that by isolating you, you will dim your light to become more palatable for them. And they're hoping that they can trick you into chasing them or chasing their friendship or validation. Isolation is a weak woman's game, okay? Isolation is very passive aggressive, it's very weak and low vibrational. And women tend to do this because this is the only thing that they can do to stunning women. You know, if they don't have anything else, all they know how to do is isolate you. If they can't put their hands on you, if they can't beat your ass, and if they can't be you, the only thing that they know how to do that they're hoping will hurt you is isolate you, because they know that most women crave sisterhood. Most women crave having someone who they can lean on and rely on. Most women crave having community. And this is why I don't have many friends and why I don't do well in groups, because if someone deems you to be threatening and if they're insecure by your beauty, they will make you fight tooth and nail, or they will try to make you fight tooth and nail for their friendship. And they'll isolate you and leave you out of things in the hopes that you'll crave connection with them. And I'm the type of person, you can't trick me into wanting a friendship with you. I don't beg friend. I don't beg friend. That's a saying in the Caribbean. Don't beg friend. You know, we don't do that. We don't chase after people for their validation, for their approval, and for their friendship, because this is what people do. People weaponize friendship. Women tend to weaponize connection and weaponize sisterhood. And I've never been the type of woman to fall into these, hierarchy games and fall into these social climbing games. I don't do this. I only want to be friends with people who genuinely want to be friends with me. I don't want to be around women who don't have an identity, who lack a sense of self, who haven't mastered self actualization. You know, they don't know how to be themselves, and they hide in friendship groups to feel a sense of strength in numbers when they're really just weak, insecure, judgmental, low vibrational, and threatened. And so the only way they can feel powerful or feel like they matter in society is to have a group of friends who think like them, move like them, and act like them. And when someone gets bought into that group setting or group friendship, and they are very much coming into it with main character energy. They don't have to have a group of friends. They're choosing to be in a group. They're not needing to be in a group. Or if you're in a group setting where there's a lot of people at work or at any of your hobbies, you're not requiring or desiring connection or to be with people because you don't need them. People can smell independence on you. People can smell independence. They can smell a sense of individuality that they lack and don't have. And so it pisses people off that you have a sense of self. It pisses people off that you have self actualized and you walk alone and you don't need people, because a lot of people feel like they need people. And because they're codependent, they want other people to be codependent on them as well. It's the only way they can feel valuable or have a sense of self or feel like, my friends are my friends, or this person is under my control or under my influence only. And I've never been that type of girl. I don't do that to people and I don't seek that from others. So naturally, those types of women who like to isolate don't like me because I don't fall into their program. I run my own program over here. I do what I want to do. I move on my timing, and I only befriend women who have a strong sense of self, who have self-actualized, and who love themselves like how I do. And so I noticed that people will purposely like click up just so that you can feel the absence of connection. And they're hoping to see you squirm and feel uncomfortable and basically make yourself a shell of yourself because you don't have connection, you don't have community, or you don't have a group behind you. But joke's on them, because baby, I never cared. And that's the thing with beautiful women who have done the work on themselves. They don't care, and it's always funny to me when people try these things on me. They try these isolation tactics, and because it's worked on other women, they get so excited when they try it on me because, naturally they don't know me. I'm a stranger to them, they're a stranger to me, and they think that what's worked in the past with other women is going to work with me. And they're sadly mistaken to find out that if you isolate me, I'm actually ecstatic. I'm actually so happy that you did that because I already don't want to talk to you. I already don't want to have community with you because you're not my type of girl to be friends with. I already don't care. So you doing that is not going to garner the reaction that you're so craving and desiring from me. You're not going to get it. You're actually going to be sadly mistaken and disappointed when I pay you dust, when I pay you no mind. It's actually so exciting for me to ignore people who think they're going to get reactions out of me when they try to isolate me because I already don't care to be in groups. I already don't care to be in community with you. So, you isolating me is not going to make me chase you or run behind you and ask you why you don't want to be my friend. Like, are these women in elementary school? We're not in fifth grade, ma'am. We're not in fifth grade. What worked for you when you were 8 years old is not going to work for you now. And I really just feel like some of them have it really confused. Like they really genuinely think that if, they get you in a group setting, like let's say you're at church or at school or I don't know, at your workout class where you go every week and there's a group that has learned each other and has gotten to know each other. Whatever it may be, people like to create hierarchies in groups, specifically women. Women like to throw their weight around and create hierarchies, quiet, secret hierarchies in groups that are unspoken and only felt. Again, so this is all psychological and stupid mental bullshit. And they do this because they obviously lack control of their own lives. If you felt fulfilled and secure in your own life, you would never go into spaces, social settings, and, do this quiet little unspoken passive aggressive isolation, and like trying to figure out who's the head kahuna, the big kahuna in the group. You wouldn't feel the need to do that if you were happy and fulfilled. So women do this because they lack self-identity, they lack a sense of self, and they feel powerful when they can isolate the pretty girl, when they can exclude the beautiful woman, that's when they feel powerful. That's when they feel good about themselves. So if all my beautiful women, all my very charismatic, bright light, bright spirited women can just be aware of this tactic, I feel like you would be able to navigate in social settings a lot easier and a lot more powerfully. You will maintain your power and your stance when you're in these spaces and they're looking for you to crumble. If you're more aware of isolation tactics and how it is very passive aggressive and it's a weak woman's game, and you can carry this knowing with you when you enter these spaces, you'll be untouchable. And the right women who are for you will notice this. They'll notice your power, they'll notice your strength, and they'll admire that about you, and then they'll want to be friends with you because they're just like you. If they're not like you, if they're weak-willed, if they're passive aggressive, if they're nasty, and if they find power in excluding women who they're threatened by, they will stay away from you. And that's what you want. You want these types of women to steer clear of you, and they can do all their petty nonsense if they want to. But at the end of the day, you're standing in your power, you're holding your stance, and you're not succumbing to their tactics to get you to be uncomfortable. They're looking for an outward reaction or like an outward sign that you are disturbed by being isolated or by being excluded. You can't give them the satisfaction, ladies. We have to stand strong in our individuality. We have to stand strong in our independence and in being a lone wolf, period. So ladies, drop down in the comments section. I'd love to have a conversation about isolation tactics. How have you overcome any isolation tactics that you've been met with in your life? I'd love to hear some of your stories down below. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box so you can share your stories with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.